is about to get his life back and his golden parachute. The BP board is meeting today and is reportedly planning to replace Hayward with Mississippi-born Bob Dudley, the first American to head the British oil giant. John Hofmeister is the former president and CEO of U.S. operations for Shell Oil and joins us now. And he's also the author of Why We Hate the Oil Companies, Straight Talk from an Energy Insider. Well, I can think of a number of reasons to hate the oil companies, but...
they have certainly earned a certain amount of animosity from the American people.
Will this change at the top, which is to be announced and is being negotiated and may be transitional, but will the change from Tony Hayward to Bob Dudley make any difference to the people in the Gulf?
I think in the first instance, no. Bob Dudley's been in the Gulf. He's been running things there, I think, pretty well under the circumstances. Tony removed himself some months or some weeks ago, and I think nothing really changes in terms of the Gulf. What really changes is the board has to take a view on what the future of the company is going to be like and who's going to be the face of the company and the primary decision maker as things move forward. That's why the change.
And is this cosmetic to the extent that this is a second earnings report, this is a board report, they're worried about their investors, they're trying to project change going forward?
I actually think it's more than that. I think BP has to accelerate, and Tony was unable to accelerate its implementation of the kind of global processes that exist in the other major oil companies. These are huge companies with tens of thousands of employees in positions all over the world. If you're going to be effective like an ExxonMobil or a Shell or a Chevron, you've really got to have not just structures but processes in place where people know you're serious. When you're far removed from headquarters, you may think that you can do anything you want. Life doesn't work that way. You need strict standards, disciplined processes, and I think Bob's appointment will, I think, be a signal to the world, to the organization internally. Things have got to change.
I did an interview last week here on this program with Marvin Odom from Shell, and his point has been, looking forward and looking back, that the practices used by BP on this oil well were really outliers, that other companies do not drill wells this way, that they have redundancies in the system. But the more we hear from things that were not done by the drilling company, by the subcontractor, alarms that were turned off. Every day there's another disclosure of safety precautions that were not taken.
I think it's horrendous. And the industry is very, very angry and upset because they've now been painted with the same paintbrush as if every company is out there taking the same level of risk. My successor, Marvin Odom, knows full well that the safety management system on a rig cannot be overruled by a rig manager. The safety management system, that's what I mean by process, it takes priority over day-to-day decisions. If you don't have this kind of backbone in the system, you're really at the mercy of whatever somebody does in any given moment, which could be reckless, and people's lives are at risk. And as my previous company says all the time, you don't put a price on a life. It's too precious. And so you protect life, you protect people from harm. And what I see the same reports you do in terms of what people are revealing. It's appalling what you read about.
John Hofmeister, always good to see you, especially here in town. And you're here for the National Urban League, which you chair.
This is our 100th anniversary. We're very excited about it.
And Mark Morial will be coming later in the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you. And the Obama administration has condemned the release by a politically active